Hi everybody, how's it going? So when consumption goods are free, the consumer is the product. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, especially in the light of the mass media content. Not so much independent content as this, but the mass media content. So imagine, please, if you will, a guy driving in his car, is going to work, is going somewhere, he has nothing to do, so he turns on the radio and starts listening. And he doesn't see anything wrong with that. He just goes on and tells to himself, well, this is alright, this is free content, free entertainment, free music, all that. It probably doesn't come at a cost, it should be alright, I'm even privileged to have this. One assumption that I would like to go against is that this does not come at a cost, because I think this really comes at a huge societal cost that all of the people actually pay. The people, not people, the people. And in this case, if you could just follow on with me, if you really think about it, mass media content, what we consume on a daily basis, has a great power. And we also tend to consume what we find to be a better quality. Better quality is often linked with most visually or acoustically beautiful or impressive sounds and images. And I think that usually comes with having very good means, economic means. And who's got the biggest economic means? Well, the biggest companies and the biggest powers. And the biggest powers all usually have their own interest has a higher priority than the people's general interest. So the people who are actually getting access to what's on the media, to what the media does to the common people, are not the common people, are not the philosophers, but the powerful. And for the purpose of this video, we're going to actually call them, so that we understand the dynamics, the oppressors. So if the oppressors control and finance and spend huge amounts of money on the media, that probably is because it's very useful for them. So I just want to lay all of this so that you can think of it in your own way. But the media, the mass media, controls a lot of things in our daily lives. It controls what we see as normal. It controls what we think about because we're exposed to it. It controls what we talk about. It controls what we see as invisible, what we don't see then. And what we see as strange and what we just basically think is normal and should be alright. It controls the level of danger that we think there is. It controls basically most of our opinions, and it controls the information that gets to us and in what way. That actually is a lot of power, because when you think of it, they're controlling everybody or most everybody's information and all of these things. And actually, the media, the mass media, actually used to be, in Spanish it is the same word, it means the same as means of communication. The mass media is actually the means of communication of the people, controlled by the power, the high power class, controlled by the elites, but those who have the means to create a visually impressive enough content for us to consume massively, therefore mass media. But they're actually the means of consumption, the means of communication. The thing is that the means of communication are actually the greatest tool of the people, because the greatest power of humans comes in organizing ourselves into into purpose-driven groups. And we do that through the means of communication. What the mass media is actually the key to where that power is directed. And there are a lot of inequality, injustice situations in today's society, and it always has been, but there is plenty of that today. Even so, the people even though we have much more than we used to have, is not actively fighting that. It's not disrupting and dislocating the economic structures that favor all of this oppression and injustice. We are not together. We are not together in a movement, plenty of movements to improve human life as a whole. But what we are actually is distracted by all the media has us distracted with. And that is hugely important. Why? Because we could be fighting a lot of the things that we find unjust in society if we just gather the power to do so. And the power lies in organizing us. That is basically what the mass media, I think, is inhibiting. So that is what I'm just saying is that when you turn on the mass media and all this free content that is available for a lot of people and a lot of people consume, you need to be certain that the powerful, the oppressors know that, and they put money there, so they direct a little bit what's been said there, what's been published there, and what is seen as normal there, what you make people think, what you inform people of. In a certain sense, of course, not to the extreme, like huge propaganda, but it does have a huge component of that, because they know that so long as the oppressors control what the oppressed think, they can inhibit them from rebelling against them and actually losing this privileged position. So the more they can make sure that we think everything is kind of a right, or that we're powerless, or that we should be thinking and distracting ourselves with everything that the mass media usually and constantly throw at our faces, everything should be about our right in terms of revolutions and all of that. So just wanted you to think of it in the case that you get to see somebody, or you yourself turn on this means of communication, this mass media systems, and you think to yourself, am I not lucky, am I not clever that I'm consuming all of that for free? Just come back to the sentence that I said in the beginning. When the consumption goods is free, when the consumption goods are free, the consumer is the product. We are the product of consuming media. And it's not only advertisement. It goes much deeper into controlling what the people think, talk about, tolerate. So they deprive us of our biggest power. What I'm asking you is the content that they provide so much worth it to give up that? I'll leave you with that thought. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video and it gave you good material to think about. I'll see you in the next one tomorrow. So bye-bye.